You don't go back because you're weak. You go back because something in you believes the pain is familiar, and therefore safe. That's the lie. That's the brutal truth you were never told. You've been taught to call it nostalgia. You've been taught to blame yourself for lacking discipline, for not letting go, for being too emotional. But none of that is the real reason you return to what wounds you. Here's what no one will tell you. You return to what hurts you because part of your identity was built inside the pain. And the psyche defends identity, even if that identity is fractured, small, and soaked in suffering. This is not a feel-good explanation. This is not a pep talk about moving on. This is a psychological reckoning. You're not here for comfort. You're here for clarity. Carl Jung understood something that modern self-help refuses to confront. You are not just drawn to what is pleasurable. You are drawn to what is familiar, even when that familiarity is made of chaos, criticism, or emotional starvation. This means the wound is not just an injury. It's a location. It's where part of your psychological home was constructed. And no amount of rational advice will stop you from walking through the front door of that house again and again, unless you confront why it feels like home in the first place. So forget everything you've heard about willpower. Forget the surface-level mantras, the shallow, cut-them-off slogans, the fake strength of fake detachment. You don't need stronger walls. You need to tear down the foundation of the prison you mistook for a sanctuary. And this is where the brutality begins. Because real healing is not about moving forward. It's about going backward, into the memory, the pain, the patterns, and unlearning what you were forced to accept as love, as safety, as self. You're not addicted to chaos because you enjoy it. You're addicted to chaos because it taught you how to be seen. And even pain feels like intimacy when you were raised to confuse love with attention and survival with attachment. So here's your reality check. If you keep going back to what hurts you, it's not because you're stupid. It's because the map in your mind was drawn by suffering, and you've never been shown how to redraw it. But that ends now. You are not here to feel better. You are here to wake up, to dissect the lie, to face the wound not with shame, but with strategy. Let's begin. Imagine your mind as a battlefield, not one of bullets and bombs, but of memory, identity, and buried truths. On this battlefield, you are not fighting others. You are fighting yourself, or more precisely, the version of yourself forged in a war you never chose. And here's the cruel twist. Most people don't even realize they're in a war. They mistake the terrain of trauma for the shape of reality itself. Carl Jung didn't speak in the sanitized language of pop psychology. He spoke in symbols, in shadows, in brutal truths about the psyche. And one of his most powerful insights was this: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. This is where your cycle begins. You don't go back to what hurts you by accident. You go back because your unconscious is at war with your conscious will. You say you want peace, but a deeper part of you only understands war. The battlefield metaphor helps us make sense of this conflict. In Jungian terms, the psyche is not a unified whole. It's a collection of forces, roles, wounds, and masks. Some parts fight for survival. Others fight to be seen. And some parts, the most dangerous, fight to preserve your suffering, because suffering gave you a script to follow. These scripts are called complexes. They are emotional landmines formed in childhood. They carry memories, emotions, and distortions, all wired around a central wound. And when triggered, they override your rational mind. They make you chase people who mirror the parent who neglected you. They make you sabotage stability because chaos feels like home. They make you betray yourself to avoid abandonment because that's what you had to do to survive. These are not habits. They are programmed reflexes. And they live in the unconscious, below your awareness, but not below their power. Let's say you grew up with a father who only gave you attention when you achieved something. That's not just a memory. That's a psychological command. Be exceptional or be invisible. Now 20 years later, you obsess over productivity, panic when you're idle, and feel worthless when you rest. You think you're driven, but really, you're still obeying a battlefield command from a war long over. The soldier in you never got the signal to stand down. Jung's genius was not just identifying these unconscious patterns. It was in showing how they form a shadow, the disowned, rejected, feared parts of yourself, the part that still craves approval, the part that still aches for a touch, a voice, a word of validation. And you don't kill the shadow. You integrate it, or it destroys you from within. But integration is not poetic. It's not romantic. It's brutal, because it means admitting you've been fighting yourself for years. It means recognizing that your desire for pain is not masochism. It's memory, crying out for completion. When you go back to the people who neglect you, to the environments that belittle you, you are not being irrational. You are trying, unconsciously, to win a war that was never winnable to begin with. You are trying to rewrite the ending of your origin story by reenacting it with different characters, hoping this time someone will stay, someone will love you, someone will say you matter. But that never happens. Because it's not about them. It was never about them. The battlefield is internal. And until you disarm the minefield of your own psyche, you will keep stepping on the same wounds. Jung warned of this. He called it the repetition compulsion, the tendency to recreate trauma, not because we enjoy it, but because it is the only language the unconscious knows. And unless that language is translated, examined, and rewritten, the script keeps playing. Now let's be clear. This is not about blaming the past. It's about understanding it, so you can stop being ruled by it. You are not responsible for what was done to you, but you are responsible for breaking the pattern it left behind. This is the battle Jung demands of us, not the battle of outward rebellion, but the inner revolution, to turn inward, face the shadow, and claim authority over your own mind. It requires war tactics, strategy over reaction, observation over impulse, brutal honesty over emotional anesthesia, and above all, it requires what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole. Not perfect, not invulnerable, whole. That means embracing the hurt child, the abandoned teen, the angry adult, not to dwell in their pain, but to reclaim them from the battlefield. Because here is the truth. You don't need to go back to what hurt you. You need to go back to the part of yourself that was left behind in that pain. And only then will you stop mistaking suffering for love. Only then will you be free. You don't need to experience deep trauma to find yourself stuck in destructive patterns. The battlefield is not dramatic. It's subtle, habitual, and disguised as normal. You wake up anxious, not because something is wrong, but because peace feels unfamiliar. You enter relationships where you're undervalued, but instead of leaving, you double down on proving your worth. You procrastinate on goals that matter to you, not because you're lazy, but because success threatens the identity you built inside failure. These are not coincidences. They're symptoms of unconscious loyalty to suffering. You learned, likely at a young age, that love was conditional, that visibility came with performance, that safety required silence. So now, as an adult, you reenact those lessons, not because you want to suffer, but because suffering feels structured, predictable, safe. You're not drawn to toxic people by accident. You're drawn to the emotional blueprint they activate in you, the same blueprint that was formed when you were powerless. This is how the past leaks into the present. You get anxious when someone is kind to you. You feel numb around genuine intimacy. You crave emotional intensity, even when it's harmful. And here's the brutal part. Your mind will rationalize all of it. You'll say, I just have high standards, or they're just misunderstood, or this is how I am. But none of that is true. What's true is that your unconscious still believes the battlefield is active, and every day you make choices that reinforce that war. Until you confront the map, you'll stay stuck in the terrain. Subtopic 2. Why conventional advice fails. Just let go. Cut them off. Focus on yourself. It sounds good, clean, empowering, but it doesn't work, not long term. And here's why. It treats the symptom, not the system. You're not repeating pain because you enjoy it. You're repeating it because it protects a deeper part of your identity. And no amount of surface-level action will change a system you haven't even examined. Conventional advice fails because it assumes logic drives behavior. It doesn't. Emotion does, memory does, identity does. And if your identity was forged in pain, no amount of rational thinking will break that bond. Telling someone to just stop sabotaging themselves is like telling a soldier to drop his weapon, without acknowledging that the war is still happening in his head. You can block people and still crave their approval. You can say affirmations and still feel worthless. You can leave the room, but the battlefield comes with you until you disarm it internally. Jung's work is brutal because it demands self-confrontation, not self-improvement. Improvement is what you do on top of dysfunction. Confrontation is what you do to dissolve dysfunction. And that means you have to look at the part of yourself that still needs pain, not to shame it, to understand it, and then to replace it with something stronger than survival. Sovereignty. That's why conventional advice fails. It talks about freedom, but it never teaches you how to win the war that keeps you from wanting it. The only way out is through, and the only way through is by building a new command structure in your psyche. Here's how. Step 1. Identify the pattern. Stop judging yourself. Start observing. Where do you keep ending up? What kinds of people trigger you? What stories do you tell yourself before you self-destruct? Write it down. Patterns lose power when exposed to language. Step 2. Trace it back. Ask, when did I first learn this was normal? Go back to the emotional origin. Was it a parent, a teacher, a friend? Who made you feel small unless you performed? Who made love conditional? Don't just remember it, feel it. That emotion is the source code. Step 3. Break the emotional association. You need to separate pain from safety in your nervous system. This means practicing stillness, setting boundaries, sitting with kindness without recoiling. You're rewiring your body to no longer treat love as danger. Step 4. Replace the role. If your inner system still sees yourself as the forgotten child, the fixer, or the survivor, it will keep acting out those roles. You must install a new one, the commander. This role chooses, protects, and enforces values, not just reacts to threats. Step 5. Ritualize the new identity. Don't make this mental, make it physical. Daily practices, speaking out loud, writing declarations. Your mind believes what your body repeats. You're not trying to kill the old self. You're leading it off the battlefield, one command at a time. Make no mistake, the moment you begin reclaiming your power, the world will push back. Not because it's evil, but because it was calibrated to your old self. The version of you that was compliant, predictable, apologetic. You are not just fighting internal ghosts. You are confronting external systems built on your silence. The friends who only liked you when you played therapist, they'll drift. The partner who fed off your insecurity, they'll resent you. Even your own mind will scream for the familiar pain, because comfort isn't peace, it's repetition. Jung called this tension the confrontation with the shadow. It's when the false light you lived under, the fake smiles, the social masks, the performance of stability begins to burn off, and you're left with truth, raw, sharp, unfiltered. The light isn't gentle. It exposes everything. The shadow isn't evil. It protects the parts you buried. And in that collision, you either retreat or evolve. Here's how to survive the pushback. Expect guilt. It's not proof you're wrong. It's proof you're changing. Expect loss. You're not losing people. You're shedding illusions. Expect backlash. It's not personal. It's systemic. You're not here to please. You're here to reprogram the world around you, starting with how you show up. When the shadow rises, don't flinch. It's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to reunite you. Subtopic 5. Long-term strategy for inner and outer victory. This is not a one-time awakening. It's a war of attrition, and like any war, it requires stamina, systems, and sovereignty. Here's what long-term victory looks like. 1. Psychological fortification. You must protect your energy the same way you would guard a fortress. Audit your environment. Cut off passive drains. The media, the people, the rituals that keep you in emotional poverty. 2. Emotional discipline. Don't chase highs. Don't flee lows. Build a stable core. That means journaling even when it hurts, meditating even when it's uncomfortable, and speaking truth even when your voice shakes. 3. Strategic solitude. Silence is not empty. It's infrastructure. Create regular distance from noise. Your clarity is sharpened in solitude, not in distraction. 4. Shadow integration as practice. Don't avoid triggers. Study them. When a situation ignites old pain, treat it like a mission briefing. What is this revealing? What story is trying to reactivate? 5. Choose purpose over pattern. The past is powerful, but direction is stronger than gravity. Anchor your life around meaning, not memory. Build habits that align with who you are becoming, not who you had to be. And never forget, victory is not in how others see you. Victory is in never betraying yourself again. You've been trained to survive pain. Now it's time to lead yourself out of it. This isn't self-help. This is psychological warfare. And you are the commander now. No more blaming fate. No more waiting to be rescued. No more mistaking the battlefield for home. If you keep going back to what hurts you, it's not weakness. It's programming. And today, you've seen the code. So here's your challenge. Declare publicly and without apology that the war ends here. Write it, say it, own it. Drop it in the comments now. I am the commander. Because this isn't about motivation. It's about authority. The world won't hand it to you. The past won't give it up easily. You will have to take it. Through discipline, through strategy, through absolute refusal to bow to the pain that shaped you. You have one job now. Lead the parts of you that were left behind. Bring them back under your command. No more loyalty to suffering. No more rehearsing rejection. You are not a victim of your wiring. You are the one who rewires it. And if no one taught you how, now you know. You don't need to heal to act. You act so that healing becomes possible. This isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. But if you've made it this far, you already know the truth. The war inside you ends the moment you stop running from it and start fighting to win. Now fight and never go back.